Hello, you're watching Hornbill TV's Prime Time, and now the headlines. An Air Dynasty helicopter crashed in the Shivpuri area of Nuwakot district in Nepal on Wednesday afternoon, and 5 people on board are all said to be dead. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who resigned on August 5th following unprecedented anti-government protests, arrived at the Hindon Air Force Station near Delhi on Monday, is likely to leave India in the next 48 hours, and all the arrangements are being made for her safe exit. Nobel laureate Mohammad Yunus has been appointed as the head of Bangladesh's interim government, announced Bangladesh President's press secretary Zainal Abidin. The prevailing situation in Bangladesh has raised concern among the world powers, including the United States. United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken urged the interim government to respect democratic principles and uphold rule of law. Now the news in detail. An Air Dynasty helicopter crashed in the Shivpuri area of Nuwakot district in Nepal on Wednesday afternoon, and 5 people on board are all said to be dead. Authorities have confirmed that the helicopter had departed from Kathmandu and was en route to Rasua when it collided with a hill at Surya Chaur 7 in Nuwakot. Reports say the helicopter, piloted by Senior Captain Arun Malla, and lost contact with the ground staff just 3 minutes after its takeoff. 5 people were reportedly on board when it took off, including 4 Chinese nationals and the pilot. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who resigned on August 5th following unprecedented anti-government protests, arrived at the Hindon Air Force Station near Delhi on Monday with her younger sister, Sheikh Rehana. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and other top officials met her. Hasina is reportedly staying at a safe house at present. She fled Bangladesh amid a mass uprising that left hundreds of people dead. As per sources, former Bangladesh PM Sheikh Hasina is likely to leave India in the next 48 hours, and all the arrangements are being made for her safe exit. Nobel laureate Mohammad Yunus has been appointed as the head of Bangladesh's interim government, announced Bangladesh President's press secretary Zainal Abidin. The decision regarding the appointment of Bangladesh's interim government head was made during a meeting between President Shahabuddin and the coordinators of the anti-discrimination student movement. Zainal Abidin said that the remaining members of the interim government will be finalized after talks with various political parties, according to the Dhaka Tribune report. Earlier, a 13-member team from the anti-discrimination student movement traveled to Banga Bhavan to discuss Bangladesh's current situation and the outline of the interim government. They called on the president and the chiefs of the 3 armed forces. Bangladesh is facing a fluid political situation, with Sheikh Hasina tendering her resignation from her post in the wake of mounting protests on August 5th. The protests, led mainly by students demanding an end to the quota system for government jobs, evolved into an anti-government demonstration. A day after Sheikh Hasina resigned as Prime Minister of Bangladesh and left the country, President Mohammad Shahabuddin announced the dissolution of the country's parliament to make way for the formation of an interim administration based on a decision from a meeting of President Shahabuddin with the heads of the 3 armed forces, leaders of various political parties, representatives of civil society, and leaders of the Students Against Discrimination movement. The National Parliament was dissolved, a press release from the President's office stated. Bangladesh is undergoing a massive political crisis after Sheikh Hasina resigned as PM on August 5th. Hasina resigned after massive protests by students for weeks turned into a threat to her life. Known as Iron Lady, Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled her nation after short notice by the army. Hasina arrived in India on August 5th, and it is not clear if she will stay in Delhi or move to another location. Meanwhile, protests and destruction continue across Bangladesh even after Hasina's departure. Army Chief General Waqar-uz-Zaman addressed a press conference and informed about the takeover of the country. The prevailing situation in Bangladesh has raised concern among the world powers, including the United States. United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken urged the interim government to respect democratic principles and uphold rule of law.
To Bangladesh, we're monitoring the situation very closely. I would just say that any decisions that the interim government makes need to respect democratic principles, need to uphold the rule of law, need to reflect the will of the people. We, for our part, take very seriously the safety and security and well-being of American citizens, of our personnel. We went, as I think you know, to order departure of our non-essential personnel. And of course, we'll be watching this day in, day out.
Indian Olympics Association President P.T. Usha and Chief Medical Officer of the Indian contingent, Dr. Dinshaw Pardiwala, spoke in regarding Indian wrestler Vinesh Phogat's disqualification from the Paris Olympics after she was found overweight ahead of a women's 50-kilogram final match on Wednesday. India's Chief Medical Officer at the Paris Olympics, Dr. Dinshaw Pardiwala, on Wednesday revealed that cutting off Vinesh Phogat's hair was among the drastic measures taken to help the wrestler stay within the prescribed weight limit for her gold medal bout in the 50-kilogram category. However, none of it was enough to prevent her disqualification, as she was found 100 grams overweight at the time of morning weigh-in. She was set to take on USA's Sarah Hildebrandt after 3 exhausting bouts on Tuesday.
Process of weight cut involves a calculated restriction of food and water, and we also involve a lot of excessive sweating, which is done with exercise, with sauna, with steam, and thereby we achieve that weight cut prior to the morning weigh-in. Now this weight cut causes weakness and causes some amount of energy depletion, and this is really counterproductive to participation. And hence, for participation, we do need to then restore energy with some amounts of water and some amounts of energy foods. So you can see this is a fine balance. If you can reduce your weight, you're going to be fighting with less stronger opponents, so most wrestlers prefer that. But at the same time, you have to have a strategy which you are going to be able to get back your energy with enough water depletion, with enough water restoration and food. Now, this is typically calculated by the team with that wrestler. So Vinesh's nutritionist and team had calculated this to be about 1.5 kgs, and this is a team that's been working with her since many years, and she's extremely comfortable with that team, and this has actually worked with her in the past. So she took in that 1.5 kgs, which is necessary for her to be able to fight those 3 bouts. And I think it's important to remember that usually once you have this weight loss, it's by dehydration. So as soon as you take water, there's going to be a rebound increase in your weight. And during the bouts, because she had 3 really difficult bouts, she did need to have some amount of water, because you do want to rehydrate, because otherwise it's going to be medically a problem to participate. So you do require some amount of nutrition and some amount of water. Now her post-participation weight at the end of the semi-finals in the evening was found to be 2.7 kilograms more than the allowed weight. And the team and the coach started off their usual process, which is of course limitation of water, no food, and you start off with the whole process of sweating it out. And typically, you require some amount of time for that, but unfortunately we didn't have too much time. We had just 12 hours. So the whole night, the entire team, went ahead with this whole process of trying to reduce her weight, putting her in a steam and sauna, making her exercise, and whatever was medically possible, we tried our best to try and get that weight down. And when she couldn't sweat anymore, we even had to go to some drastic measures like cutting off her hair, and they wear a vest, so we shortened that vest, so even a few milligrams if we can reduce, we tried. And despite all of this, at about 7:15 to 7:30 is the weigh-in, and we wanted to try the best, so we got her weight done right at the end at around 7:29. It was unfortunately 100 grams over 50 kilograms. If we maybe had a few hours more, we could have achieved that 100 grams, but we just didn't have that time. Now, once she was disqualified, then the question was, as a precautionary measure, we do need to rehydrate her. And the best way to rehydrate an athlete is by giving an intravenous fluid. So we gave her a few intravenous fluids. She started eating and drinking. She's passed urine. and she's otherwise perfectly normal physically and medically. We've got her blood tests done just as a precautionary measure. We always do that. That's a routine, and those blood tests are also okay. And Vinesh, of course, has interacted with IOA President Dr. Mrs. P.T. Usha, and she's told her that look, physically and medically I'm okay, but of course, undoubtedly she's disappointed. This is her third Olympics. She was really keen to try and do something for the country, but because of this 100 grams has been disqualified.
We'll be right back after a short break, so stay tuned for more news.
गरम ते पेट और मन के ठंडा रखे तो की नकी खाली मीठा है लगे इदु हेल्दी আছে UHT treated और सफा भी আছে थर्ड इदु फ्रेश আছে और मजा भी वाओ केविंटर लस्सी मीठा भी हेल्दी भी
केविंटर लस्सी मीठा भी हेल्दी भी
दालमिया सीमेंट से तो आरसीएफ स्ट्रांग बन गया।
आरसीएफ
रूफ कॉलम फाउंडेशन ये तो स्ट्रांग बन गया। और बताइए और क्या चाहिए?
छत पे एक बड़ा सा पार्टी हॉल होना चाहिए।
मार्बल का फाउंटेन मॉड्यूलर किचन
और एक एक्वेरियम
इतने सब के लिए तो आरसीएफ स्ट्रांग होना ही चाहिए।
तभी तो दालमिया सीमेंट चाहिए। दालमिया सीमेंट आरसीएफ स्ट्रांग तो घर स्ट्रांग।
মানুহ কই মৰ্নিংটো ভাল থাকিলে দিনটো ভাল হয় ইটো কাৰণে মই সদায় আৰএছ এপল খাই মই লাগা দিনটো বেছি বিজি থাকিলে বি মই তো হাইড্ৰেটেড আৰু ৰেডি হৈ থাকিম আৰএছ মই লাগা এনাৰ্জি লেভেল অল দ্য টাইম হাই ৰাখে আৰএছ পাব এপল আৰু অৰেঞ্জ ফ্লেভাৰ দে
आरएस दम ना हुकम
Welcome back. The Enforcement Directorate on Tuesday filed a supplementary charge sheet against Rashtriya Janata Dal chief Lalu Prasad and his son Tejasvi Yadav in the alleged land for job scam. Speaking to the media persons on Wednesday, RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav said that nothing will change with this. He expressed faith in the court and said that they have been saying from the beginning that their case is strong and the charge sheet will not stand. It is just a formality.
वो तो करना ही था, उसमें कहा कोई अलग बात और आप लोग सब लोग जान ही रहे हैं, इससे कोई फर्क पड़ने वाला है नहीं, कुछ मिला तो है नहीं, कुछ है नहीं, इसमें दम ही नहीं है, तो इस पे ज्यादा कोई टिप्पा टिप्पणी नहीं करना है। अदालत है, अदालत पे हम लोगों को विश्वास है और शुरू से ही जो है आप लोग जान रहे हैं कि हम लोगों का पक्ष बड़ा मजबूत है, ये कहीं टिकने वाला नहीं है और हालांकि ये करना ही था, ये तो फॉर्मेलिटी होता है। तो देखिए बिहार में लगातार हत्या तो हो ही रही है, हर तरह का मामला जो है सामने जो है आ रहा है, तो अभी भी देखा जाएगा कि जो रुपेश जी का जो डिगो में जो थे उनका भी जो हत्या हुई थी, अब पता चला है कि कोर्ट से जो भी आरोपी थे वो बरी हो गए, तो सवाल एक बड़ा खड़ा होता है कि आखिर हत्यारा कौन है। तो पुलिस जो है इन्वेस्टिगेशन जो है ढंग से नहीं कर पाई है या तो पक्ष अच्छे से नहीं रख पाई है, लेकिन कम से कम हम शुरू से भी बोल रहे हैं कि बिहार पुलिस का भय अपराधियों के मन से हट चुका है, ना ये लोग पक्ष अच्छे से रख पाते हैं, ना इन्वेस्टिगेशन अच्छे से हो पाता है, अपराधियों को पूरा नीतीश जी के राज में संरक्षण मिलता है और नीतीश जी का इकबाल जो है पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो चुका है। इसलिए हम सब लोग बिहार में जिस तरह से अपराध बढ़ता जा रहा है, पूरी तरीके से सरकार जो है इस पे खामोश है, चुप्पी साधी हुई है और कहीं ना कहीं से अपराधियों को संरक्षण ये सरकार देने का प्रयास कर रही है। देखिए, इस विषय पे पार्टी के लोगों से लगातार बात हो रही है। 15 अगस्त को हम लोगों ने कहा था कि 15 अगस्त के बाद हम लोग निकलेंगे, लेकिन डेट जो है, सूची जो है, जिस दिन तैयार हो जाएगा उस दिन आप लोगों को बता दिया जाएगा। इस पे पार्टी जो है इस पे मंथन कर रही है कि क्या रूप रहेगा यात्रा का, कहां से कहां हम लोग यात्रा करेंगे और कब से करेंगे, तो इस पे जो है सारी बातें चल रही है।
Headmen of 36 villages have released a joint declaration denouncing the false allegations and misinterpretation against Manipur MP Alfred Kangam as Arthur's maiden parliament speech by Mete Lipun and My Manipur. The headmen stated that these baseless accusations, claiming that MP Arthur was openly advocating for the destructive agenda of illegal immigrant cookies in the Indian Parliament and elsewhere, are not only unfounded but also an attempt to personalize with an ill intention and is undemocratic, the statement said. The statement said MP Arthur has consistently demonstrated his unwavering commitment for the development and peace of the entire state of Manipur, which encompasses both hill and valley regions. The claims made by Mete Lipun that MP Arthur does not support the government's efforts to protect indigenous people are blatant distortions of his actual stance. The call by Mete Lipun and My Manipur to socially boycott MP Arthur from July 31st based on these unfounded accusations is inflammatory and unjustified. Such statements not only misrepresent MP Arthur's speech but also risk inciting unnecessary and unjustified harassment, they stated. In his speech, MP Arthur had emphasized that Manipur has the lowest per capita income and the highest inflation in the country. He highlighted the unprecedented floods and ongoing violence that have severely impacted the state. Accordingly, he demanded an equal budget allocation for the region, asserting that it was their right. As an opposition MP, he had suggested ways to bring peace to the 15 months long conflict, which include changing the Chief Minister of Manipur. Additionally, MP Arthur also called for the inclusion of tourism development in the northeast, stressing its potential to bring economic growth. We'll be right back after another break, so stay tuned for more news.
माता भूमि पुत्रो अहम पृथिव्यः, अर्थात ये भूमि हमारी माता है और हम सब इसके पुत्र हैं। इसी भाव का अनुकरणीय उदाहरण है एक पेड़ मां के नाम अभियान। यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की प्रेरणा से उत्तर प्रदेश में वृक्षारोपण जन अभियान ने ले लिया है जन आंदोलन का स्वरूप। विगत 7 वर्षों में समय समय पर संपन्न हुए वृक्षारोपण से हुआ है 168 करोड़ से अधिक पौधरोपण। इससे बढ़ा है उत्तर प्रदेश के वनावरण का दायरा। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ के परिवर्तनकारी नेतृत्व में पर्यावरण संरक्षण को मिली है नई दिशा। एक्सप्रेसवे, हाईवे के किनारे, सर्विस लेन के साथ ही हरित पट्टी में लगाए गए हैं छायादार, फलदार, औषधीय एवं पर्यावरणीय महत्व वाले पौधे। आइए स्वच्छ एवं स्वस्थ पर्यावरण के लिए वृक्षारोपण जन अभियान 2024 में प्रतिभाग लेकर अपनी मां के नाम जरूर लगाएं एक पेड़। हम सब मिलकर करें ये काम, एक पेड़ लगाएं मां के नाम।
आरसीएफ
दालमिया सीमेंट है आरसीएफ एक्सपर्ट, यानी रूफ, कॉलम और फाउंडेशन एक्सपर्ट। दालमिया सीमेंट, आरसीएफ स्ट्रॉन्ग तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग।
माता भूमि पुत्रो अहम पृथिव्यः, अर्थात ये भूमि हमारी माता है और हम सब इसके पुत्र हैं। इसी भाव का अनुकरणीय उदाहरण है एक पेड़ मां के नाम अभियान।
Welcome back. Niti Aayog's latest data release has shown that 39.7% underweight children under 5 are in Gujarat. The state ranks low on fighting hunger and improving nutrition among children. It ranks 25th among Indian states on hunger index, says the 2023-24 Sustainable Development Goal report released by Niti Aayog earlier this month. SDG 2 aims to achieve zero hunger. It is one of the 17 SDGs established by the United Nations in 2015. Gujarat scored just 41 points on SDG 2 index, coming behind Odisha, Madhya Pradesh and 23 other states in hunger fight. Niti Aayog's data reveals that 39% children under 5 are stunted, 62.5% of pregnant women aged 15 to 49 are anemic, and 25.2% of women in the same age group have a body mass index of below 18.5. The prevalence of underweight and stunted children and anemic women has increased compared to 2018 and 2019. The 2023 MPI report revealed that nearly half of the rural Gujarat population was deprived of nutrition and 28.97% in urban areas. Gujarat, however, ranks first in health and well-being category among all states. On the Bangladesh issue, the PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti, speaking to ANI, said that our country should take a lesson from whatever has happened and is happening in Bangladesh. She said that when huge youth population is there and we try to ignore them, when inflation and unemployment hit them, situations like these arise. Mufti said that the reservations are good for the weaker section, but it should be in proportion to the population and should take a lesson that dictatorship doesn't last long. She further said when policies and laws are brought which are against the people and a threshold of patience gets breached, have to escape like Sheikh Hasina.
जो बांग्लादेश में हो रहा है या हुआ है, उससे मुझे लगता है खासकर हमारे मुल्क को सबक सीखना चाहिए कि जिस मुल्क में जवानों की इतनी बड़ी तादाद हो और इतने हसास होता है, जवान बड़ा हसास होता है, उसको जब आप पुश द वॉल करते हो, जब उसको आप नाउमीद हर तरफ से करते हो, उसको तंग करते हो, एक तरफ से महंगाई का तूफान, दूसरी तरफ से अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट और तीसरी तरफ से ऐसे कुछ फैसले करते हो जिससे वो बेबस और लाचार महसूस करता है। पढ़ लिख के कब तक एक जवान अपने माँ बाप के सामने हाथ फैलाएगा, और वो उस माँ बाप के सामने जिसके ऊपर महंगाई का इतना बोझ पड़ा हुआ है कि उसकी कमर टूट गई है। तो मेरा ये मानना है कि हमारे मुल्क के अंदर भी जो इस वक्त बेरोजगारी है और उसमें अग्निवीर जैसी स्कीम जो बिल्कुल ही आर्मी के बेसिक जो जज्बा है उसके खिलाफ है, और अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट इतनी बढ़ रही है, और उसके ऊपर रिजर्वेशन बहुत अच्छी चीज है। जो हमारे वीकर सेक्शंस है, कमजोर सेक्शंस है, उनके लिए रिजर्वेशन होना बहुत जरूरी है। मगर मैं कहती हूँ इसमें कोई आबादी का जो तनासुल है कि किसकी कितनी आबादी है, उसके हिसाब से रिजर्वेशन मिलना चाहिए, ताकि जो ओपन कैटेगरी के लोग हैं उनके साथ नाइंसाफी ना हो कि आपकी रिजर्वेशन शुड नॉट बी एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ ओपन कैटेगरी। तो मुझे लगता है कि बांग्लादेश से हमें ये सबक सीखना चाहिए कि तानाशाही का ज्यादा वक्त नहीं होता है, और लोगों के खिलाफ जो आप पॉलिसी लाते हो, कानून लाते हो, उससे आखिरकार लोग एक बार तंग होके उनके बर्दाश्त का जो पैमाना है वो टूट जाता है, छलक जाता है, और फिर शेख हसीना की तरह आपको भागना पड़ता है। तो मुझे लगता है हमारे मुल्क में इसके के लिए बहुत बड़ा सबक है, खासकर जम्मू कश्मीर में जहां जवानों के बहुत बड़े मसाइल हैं। रोज हमारे दरियाओं में से, घरों में से खुदकुशियों के खबरें मिलती हैं, ड्रग एडिक्शन बहुत ज्यादा हो गया, पर इसका बेसिक अगर हम देखें जो वजह।
That was all for this house bulletin. For more news and updates, stay tuned to Hornbill TV. Goodbye.